YouTube Nation, what it do? I'm out in traffic, y'all can see, but I just want to share something with y'all. Listen, whatever it is, people, do not hesitate to ask for help. Do never hesitate to ask somebody for help. Never hesitate to tell somebody I don't know. Don't be ashamed to say that. Just be real. It's like, I don't know. Can you help me with this? Help me get where I need to get to. Never be ashamed to ask for help. My YouTube Nation, what it do? Shout out to everybody who's tuning in from all over the world. And if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna get right into this. Check this out. I'm just watching stuff on YouTube right now. If I'm sounding low, cause you know I should have hooked up my microphone, but still, people in my house is asleep. It's at the 4 o'clock in the morning, so I don't just be as loud as I be at different times of the day. Let me try to pull the mic up a little closer. Hold up a little bit and help y'all out, because I know the volume been coming out low. Because when I air this shit, when I put it on, I play it on my TV, it be kind of low. That's whenever you see a video low, that's just me being respectful for the tenants in the house. My family is asleep, yo, so I just can't be up in this joint all super loud. I gotta give respect. Come on now. We gotta give respect, people. So anyway, I want to speak on real quick. I'm probably going to edit this and add something to this because it's something on my mind I just want to say right now. So I'm just going to put it out there. As far as black and brown relations in Los Angeles, I want to say Southern California, but I can't because I didn't reside and grew up in these other counties in Southern California. I grew up in Los Angeles County and the state of California, meaning the Department of Corrections. However, black and brown relations in California. And then we speak on racism between black and brown. You know, there's a lot of discussion going on between black and brown out here. And I think a lot of this shit is stirring shit up. Niggas need to cut this shit out. We speak on racism. The word racist. When you think of the word racist, you think of just two races. Blacks and whites. No other racism to me personally exists. To me, more than black and white racism. I get it what Hitler did to the Jews. I don't know if that's racism. I'm sure it was, but that was just, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. He was just crazy. I don't know. That's a whole nother discussion. I don't support, I'm not a Hitler fan. I don't want to talk about that dude. I shouldn't even mention his name on my channel, my bad, because I don't mention a lot of these other cats out here. So I mentioned Hitler's name. Maybe I should go ahead and mention a lot of these other dudes' names so I be a... Fuck that. Look, man. To me, racism is black and white. That's what it always been to me. I didn't grow up with racism, black and brown. I didn't do that. I just experienced that. To me, racism came from white people oppressing, getting at black people a far away. I experienced it coming up. I remember times when we moved out the hood. I moved out my hood like in 83. Moved out Inglewood in 83. Then we moved to Cerritos. And I moved out to Cerritos. I remember one day I was riding down Artesia on my bike. I had like a little mini beach cruise. That's my little bro bike. Matter of fact, I was riding down Artesia going back to the house coming from the Cerritos Mall one day. And some white folks came by me and shit. And they just sprayed me with a black, hit me with some bleach. And just fucked up my fresh navy blue Lacoste shirt. I had the two-tone World Cup Vans. Well, World Cups was not real Vans. Y'all know that. World Cups was just what we wore. The blacks, we wore World Cups. And at that time, 83, 82, 84, we was rocking World Cups. So I had the two-tone blue ones and some motherfucking 501s. They came by and hit me, called me all kind of niggas and shit. Yeah, sprayed me with bleach. I mean, so... Later on, Mexicans probably became racism. And then some people was documented. I think I heard the homie Bright Dog, I heard the homie Melly Mill, somebody say certain things when racism, when Mexicans do stuff like that, they'll say that's where they emulate that from. They seen the white folks doing first. But me, I never experienced racism from Mexicans. I grew up with Mexicans. I didn't see hatred from certain Mexican gangs like Hawaiian Gardens because they just had an issue with us Crips when I lived in Cerritos. So it was an issue back then. And, you know, I went to school out there in Cerritos. I went to Tracy Continuation School. So I came up with a bunch of Mexicans from Artha, which is Artesia and Chiva. Shout out to them niggas out there. And they had an issue with Mexicans from Norwalk and Mexicans from Hawaiian Garden. So where the school was at, right there on Norwalk Boulevard, as soon as you get off the 91 freeway on Norwalk, it's a continuation school to your right, which is called Tracy Continuation. So I went there. I always fuck with a bunch of Mexicans because moving out there to Cerritos, you know, you coming from the hood, you fuck with hood motherfuckers. So I fuck with a lot of Mexicans out of Chivas and Artesias. I mean, so that's why I say, man, a lot of shit that be out here on these YouTube channels and in the media, they putting stuff out there about black and brown. A lot of this shit is gang shit. A lot of this shit is just because these niggas don't like this group. Some people, y'all see like a dislike in the media between black and brown. Don't realize that these niggas need to give me a check, huh? Y'all drink that shit too much. Don't realize that a lot of this shit is gang related. It's like 18th Streets. They have more of an issue with Bloods, and then they have for Crips. So 18th Streets could be cool with some Crips, but they better not go up in the jungle. They can't go up in the jungle. They can't go fuck with the over by niggas by the 20s on that side of town over there in the gear. All that over. They deal with a whole different situation over there on that part of town. Everything is different. So just because something's going on over here in the jungle with 18th Streets and Black Peach Stones, you know, that don't mean it's like that over the whole city. This is for people that ain't from LA, you know what I mean? Because different parts of the city is like straight. My part of the city, we fuck with Soflos and them the homies, you know what I mean? So you'll see Sofloses with Raymonds, you'll see that. So it ain't a black and brown issue like that, but people put it out there with a lot of this, let's say, this false narrative on YouTube and all these other channels, Facebook and all this other shit. It ain't about that. But me personally, I believe that, in my opinion, racism comes from, to me, it came to me from white people. And I'm not prejudiced, I'm not racist still, even though people, that's the white race that hated black folks, people done things to black people, people done things to me because I was black, I still don't hate white people. It's just like, I don't hate all bloods, nigga, because certain bloods then shot me up and dumped me out, did all that. I don't give a fuck. That's just them bloods part of the game, bro. I don't hate all blood niggas, so what? I learned to fuck with blood niggas. It's the same with the race shit. I don't hate all white people because certain white people done certain shit to me. So I don't just hate all white people. I hate racist white people. I hate blood niggas that hate me. I hate Crip niggas that hate me. Let that shit breathe. So when people speak on racism in this country, you can never get no more racist. The word racist, you'll never get no other races in that definition besides black and white. Black and white is the biggest racial discussion in the United States. Nobody has ever experienced racism like black people in the United States of America. So I'm not putting down racism towards other races and other groups and all that. But there's no other races on planet Earth who has experienced racism like black people. Respect to all y'all, but be real. Indians experience some bullshit. Aside from that, for straight up racism, nobody has ever experienced racism. Nobody is still experienced racism. Said again, nobody is still experienced racism than black people in the United States. Y'all know the real. So it ain't a black and brown shit, some bullshit. It's just individual shit. That's just clique shit. That's just gang shit. It ain't like that. Mexicans ain't never been slave masters to black folks. Mexicans ain't never did this shit to black folks. Mexicans ain't never been the ones who just killed black folks, jumping out the car like that, being police, even though they have. Don't get me wrong. They got certain areas where they do that racist shit, but that's certain areas. Even those certain areas, you'll have Mexicans doing vile shit to black people, like in East LA, them projects and shit out there, all that kind of shit. On the other side of town, we still don't be tripping like that on Mexicans over there, because that's them niggas over. That's a whole other side of town. This is different over here. It ain't no big ass universal thing like with black and white. Black and white is universal. Black and white is so universal to the point where we had to be separated in schools. No other races have to go through this shit. All y'all listen. No other races had to go through the shit that we had to go through, and we still go through. Y'all don't deal with going to schools and to say colored only. Ain't no school that say Mexican only, Asian only. Nigga, this black and white shit. So sometimes y'all other races gotta just sit back and think like, you know, it is a difference. The racism we face with brown and other cliques and shit like that in the city ain't nothing like black and white. When you speak of racism, black and white tops it all. Period. All this other shit that go on is like minor. It's gang related, clique shit, individual shit. There's no other racism in this motherfucking world than black and white. Hold up. Correction. They did have Mexicans that was slave traders in Mexico, because there were slaves in Mexico, which explains why there's so many dark Mexicans coming out of Mexico, because there were slaves over there and they have black blood in them.